Hello and welcome to a new episode of Success Stories. Today we have Prajwal Rangaraju who will be sharing his success story, how he has passed M2 in CS Executive. This is something very special for me because I remember the first day when Prajwal came with his father and met me when we were having the physical coaching classes, and then he also migrated to the online coaching classes, and that is the success which he has got today. Hello Prajwal, welcome to Success Stories.
Hi sir.
Yes, Prajwal. So very happy that you have passed M2. Congratulations. Just before we go ahead, I want everyone to know Prajwal is a very acclaimed musician. He's a Veena player and he's a musician from his childhood, and he decided to do company secretary along with being a great musician. So first of all, how did you decide that along with Veena that you have to start with CS?
My decision to take CS actually when I was in Bangalore. I was doing my PU in B&M PU college. There actually many people are coming regarding different courses while taking. You do know realize when second PU, when it comes to the ending stages, many people from different colleges, institutes come advertise their courses. And one such people they actually came over there and started a session regarding CA and CS everything. And I got interested with CS because CA, as much as I was interested in, but you need a certain basic maths skills to be at least a bit, you have to get it. Even though for passing exams it won't be that much necessary, you can just by heart it, but while practicing it as a profession, you would have to get some focus regarding that. That I knew it would be very difficult for me, whereas this one, I like the aspect of where the CS course was, the legal governance, the corporate governance field, and also regarding the capital markets regulations that they have to follow. That actually interested me quite a lot. So that is the reason I took CS, and that's how.
Very good, excellent. So now, how did you manage? Because being a musician, you have to travel to different places, give concerts and kacheri. So how did you manage time between your music life, where you have been very proficient from a childhood, and studying for CS?
Just you have to manage your time properly. So you have to allocate, regardless of what, you just have to allocate your time between both fields because both are really necessary. You shouldn't just because this is there, I don't want to ignore this. You can ignore this for some time. If our mind starts to deviate like that, everything will fall apart like that. For a certain extent of time, that did happen to me as well. But so at some point, you just have to go back and focus at what you do and just come out of it. So that is how it
very good
manages.
Excellent. And especially for anyone who's like a sportsman, musician, company secretary course is a great combination because in future you can actually continue sports or music along with company secretary profession, and you'll have a good earning as a company secretary, and your passion for music or sports can also be continued. That's a very good decision which Prajwal has taken. Now tell me, in M2, which subjects you found difficult and what was your strategy for that?
Strategy is nothing, sir. After my first two attempts, I was actually frustrated for some time. So I was actually gaining a lot of knowledge, but when it came to exams, there is a certain way you have to study, in which I was really missing that. If not, I would have actually cleared it a bit sooner. Even I think so. That might be my personal opinion, but the thing is, I wanted to. I was really interested in all the subjects I was learning, whether it could be company law, how the process went from incorporation to winding up of the companies. And when it comes to security markets, the second module as you told about, security law and capital markets really interested me because I am really interested in markets and hope to one day become an investor as well. That is a different thing. But the thing was, as much as I like the practical aspects of it, the way of presenting it in the exam was really getting hard for me. I didn't focus it on writing the exams as well, which I should have been. The thing is, when we take CS, people usually tend to focus on just one side, either exam oriented or practical oriented. It actually has to be both, is what I feel. So I was actually missing out on that one. So even though if my favorite subject was security laws, I was actually scoring very lowest marks compared to the other subjects. And so when actually for some time when I started to study for marks as well. For example, in EBCL Competition Act, that was actually pretty easy. That was actually what people, only from the exam point of view, it is actually a good chapter to focus on. So from that I started, and in SCLCM, the second part B, capital markets, so I started focusing on those as much as possible. Means first once I get those parts properly, these I can actually focus my attention to, and like then I can develop on it. So that is
Good.
how.
That's good. Like actually, you have planned it in a very organized manner and try to be efficient. That's very nice to know. Now I want to ask you. See, now you told that 2 attempts you could not clear, and you were going through that frustration. Many students have seen, no, they'll write 1 attempt for whatever reason they don't clear. 90% time they're not well prepared, and that is why they don't clear. But then they just leave it. They said, no, I can't do. But what is that which kept you motivated? That okay, I might not clear 2 attempts, but I am going to clear next attempt. How was your mindset and how did you feel motivated?
It's not like that. I never wanted to quit the course in the first place. That was the main thing, because that is just who I am, sir. Once I take something, I just want to make sure I finish it by hook or crook. Sometimes even I might get distracted by a lot of things, like watching movie serials, going around, roaming around. Even I do get distracted. It's not like I'm the most perfect person. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to make sure I finish what I've started. So that is what it is. It's nothing much.
Okay, great. Tell me, how was your life in music? How did you think that helped you in this journey of CS preparation and all of that? How did that help you?
Music actually, it is actually a stress buster. Music actually calms us. For example, when we get to study for way too long, or when we don't even study, and the frustration of not studying or not being able to study, or not able to keep the focus, it usually eats you up sometimes. So sometimes in those aspects, music really helps me a lot, because while playing music, you don't remember anything else. Your mind is obviously calm, and your focus is actually your focus also increases after some time, because your mind is relaxed. Once your mind is relaxed, it helps you focus, and that is how music has always helped me, sir. It helps me.
Now you are telling about the times, because as a musician you have to practice regularly. You can't just go on the day of your concert, and you have to also study regularly for exam. So how was your day? Like, how did you manage your music and studies? Like generally from the time you get up to sleep, how was your general day average? How did it look like?
Actually, once my college got finished, when I was in my college, I used to like wake up at 6, practice Veena for 1 hour, and then by office after having breakfast, I used to go to the college. Then after coming back, I used to have certain time, so 3 to 4 hours. During those times, I used to study, and then that used to manage itself. So at least per day, I used to practice minimum 1 hour. And whenever concerts do come, because for concerts, as you know that we have to practice a little more than 1 hour for it. For those times, my study, I used to make sure that I bifurcate my time between those two, but I used to make time. For example, as soon as I finish my college, I used to come practice for another 2 hours, then read for another 2 hours. But the thing was, consistency was the key for it, and that is how.
Very good. I think that is the word. Consistency is the word, and especially being a musician, you need to be consistent, disciplined from a childhood. It is not easy to become a master, that too for an instrument like the Veena, and that would have definitely helped you in the discipline. And you said, I'll never quit. That is probably because all those learnings which you had. So what do you think were your mistakes? First and second attempt you could not clear. Why I'm asking this question is, whoever is watching this, there could be quite a few of them who have not cleared and they're thinking of quitting, or they're losing hope like that. So if you tell what mistakes you did first 2 attempts and what was the corrections you made in the third attempt.
First thing that is the biggest mistake I did was I took CS for granted when I cleared my foundation. Okay, this is too easy, I'm gonna just breeze through it. It's just like BCom, I'm gonna do it. So that was one of the major mistakes I did, because even when it comes to BCom degree or college, nobody has that much difficulty in clearing those exams, because they usually give us time. In the exam itself, 3 to 4 days time they used to give us. So at the end moment, we could have focused and cleared it. Even though it would not be like 90-95%, at least we could easily breeze through the exams. So that is how even I at first I thought, okay, I have to just study a bit more than what I study for BCom. Other than it, I'll be fine, is what I thought. So I focused on, I was learning them from CS. Not like I was definitely not ignoring CS, but the focus that CS required, the deep analysis it had to go into, revising each and every sections part by part. That I wasn't used to. So it's just like, oh, this is how the board meeting goes. The process of the sections that are involved, what you have to prepare, how they were prepared, the agendas, those aspects I used to ignore. Okay, so this is how this goes. So this is how this goes. Even from a knowledge share of aspect, that would be useful. But in exams, they would just send you back home. You are not worthy to go, write it down second, is what the people who correct the papers think of like that. So that was the mistakes I did in the first 2 attempts. And when 2 attempts got over, obviously, after BCom, I'm not doing any job in my house. Parents, even though they do from my side, actually, my parents didn't actually directly put pressure let me go to a job, but they were actually telling me, try those bank exams, just try it off. So if it clears, you can just do them simultaneously, is what they used to tell me. But the inner truth is the same thing. Even they were starting to feel what was actually, even they were starting to feel it's not helping him out. He has to go get scheduled. That is how the flow went. And when I realized that I didn't want to end up in a bank job, no offense to the people who are doing bank jobs, but the thing is, in a personal level, I'm not interested in doing bank jobs. So when it happened, I started, okay, fine, from practical aspects, I have gotten a certain good knowledge when I did go to the physical classes as well, when I even studied materials as well. For some time, at least till I clear my exams, I would actually focus on the exam side of it as well. So I started focusing on it. I started writing practice also I did for certain legal subjects, and for in my second module, that is corporate accounts and financial management, I took the help of my friend who was doing CA as well. Because once we both if we are studying together, it usually helps me if we are only focused. Simply coming together and just chatting won't help, but my friend used to help me study for it as well, whichever he needed and which I required help. So those two subjects I used to study with him, and these two subjects, the legal subject, that is security law, capital markets, and EBCL, I used to study, watch video classes as well, because after I had already finished my physical coaching, so I had an aspect of what everything was. The more the intimate details regarding the sections whichever I had to note down, and capital or the regulations which I have to take care of, that is LODR, ICDR, whichever, those are the two chapters I was really more interested in as a person. But even in exams, so they usually tend to ask those part as well a bit more, so I focused on them as well. Not saying that I ignored the other chapters, but everything.
Good.
Based on this, I actually focused on those things, and somehow I cleared it this time. So
very good. No, it is not somehow, it is like you told, there are so many different things which you did, and a culmination of all of that, combination of everything has given you the results. Now, since we have seen you from quite some time at Ekcel Academy, how has the academy, coaching, mentorship, all these things, how has it helped you in your journey?
So the thing is, the starting point, for example, you're going to start something, your base really has to be strong. That base itself, I got it only through the physical coaching. If not, it's not that easy to read it on your own. It's not like it's not impossible. For me, I got a base from Ekcel Academy. That is the basis of how everything works, from company law, jurisprudence. First, when I came to M1 coaching, and then M2 coaching, and as well when I did, as I told you, I was in a phase where I used to ignore certain things. I wanted to get back, so I took the video classes as well. And then when I started again, yes, so that is how it went, sir. Because of the basis which I sat upon, that is how Ekcel Academy helped me in reaching.
Okay, very good, excellent. So is there any tips or suggestions you like to share students, because you have cleared M2, relating to M2, anything you want to share, or what you feel are the 2-3 important things that students should keep in mind?
I took a lot of time to clear it. I don't know whether this one would be qualified enough to give to advise other people, but I can just tell what I did, sir. I just didn't give up at the end of the day. That is what it mattered. And execution,
and that is also
regardless of what
suggestion.
planning you do, execution is also really important. You can plan 100 things how to do it.
Never give up itself is a good suggestion. That's also very nice to know. Great. So I think that was a very good information which you have given us, and also congratulations, and I'm sure you'll be clearing M1 also. And it's nice to know that you're working in the CS field already. That is very good exposure which you're going to get, which will help you in the M1 also, and also eventually become a company secretary. And make sure that you always continue the music, because very few people have that talent. It should always be there with you. We wish you the best, and for any support, we are always there with you.
Thank you, sir.
So that was Prajwal Rangaraju, who cleared M2, and being a musician, managing time with music and studies, and finally clearing M2 has been a great journey. Personally, again, I said in the beginning, it was very satisfying, because I've seen him from day one when he met me with his father, and today passing the exam. Surely he has a very bright future. If you also want to know more such success stories, ensure that you subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you felt about Prajwal's story in the comments, and also share it with your friends, and don't forget to give a thumbs up. Thank you and all the best for your exam.